Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Annie and this is Unity Consciousness. Thank you so much for stopping by today. I'd also like to welcome our new subscribers. It's always a good day with you all in it, and I truly do feel blessed to have you join me in presence as we discuss the energy this week. Jupiter is going to be the star of the show this week. It is going to help us with a transition from the very frustrating energy of last week's fixed Grand Cross and a configuration with Jupiter and the North Node, which is so exciting. And then Mercury coming out of shadow, and then Mercury conjuncting Uranus a week from today, and then another beautiful configuration between Venus and Neptune. So let's jump in. Let's just jump right in. Today, Sunday the 28th, we've got the Sun, which is in Gemini, is going to square Saturn in Pisces. And this is all about the establishment of boundaries that are practical and necessary. You could be feeling, deflated or drained. I myself am a Gem rising, and I'm feeling extremely drained today, but I've been pouring the coal to it for the last couple of days. So this is my indication that I need to step away. I need to have some downtime. I need to create a healthy boundary, regardless of whatever else I needed to accomplish today that would require a great deal of my energy. No, I need to choose myself, set up that boundary, and then live it through. You can also feel somewhat deflated because something you anticipated that would reach a peak or fruition just isn't here yet. So there could be some delayed gratification. That's a little bit of this type of energy now. But truly, after the perfection of last week's fixed Grand Cross, man, that energy is still with us to a certain degree, but like I said, it's transitioning. Now Jupiter's expansion can shift us from frustration to optimism and inspiration. And I absolutely love that. To the equal amounts that you were frustrated last week, you can expect to have some inspiration and optimism certainly this week. And you may already be feeling this shift. It's going to perfect later in the week, but because the energy of Jupiter and relative to the North Node is so strong, and what the North Node of Destiny stands for, you may be starting to feel this energy already. So that energy does perfect on the 1st, on June 1st. And this is a once in every 7 years aspect that gives us karmic blessings. And they're relative to our soul's journey. So the North Node is the direction in which our soul chooses to go over the course of this lifetime. And the South Node are things that we are very comfortable with, but may need to step away from, kind of step out of our comfort zone and step into the unknown North Node area so that we can check more of those boxes over the course of our soul's journey. It's really a time this week, beginning today, if it is at all possible, even though we've got that square between the Sun and Saturn. If you can be open and open yourself to all blessings of the universe, this really doesn't create a situation where you're trying to maintain control of what this blessing could be for you. You allow the universe to bring in those karmic blessings. The universe knows best always, always, always. And it is a time to be open to all blessings and then trust your intuition, because that intuition is definitely connected to your North Node, and it keeps trying to get you to follow that North Node so that you can check more of those boxes and ascend in a very masterful way through your soul's journey. And truly, you can take the time to let things unfold, and with a configuration like this, it kind of takes a little bit of time to unfold, and it's also very subtle energy, very subtle shifts that manifest as clues that light the way for you. So just be aware. Be aware. Awareness is key. Presence is key, and you'll see the clues as they manifest it. We're not talking about Mars or Uranus. Boy, you can't escape that energy. It's coming for you, let alone being a little bit more subtle, and kind of got to search for those clues, or just be aware so that when the clues pop up, you're connecting those dots. Again, it's North Node. It won't be difficult energy, that's for sure. Then on Wednesday of this week, we've got Mercury, which has been retrograde for quite some time, went into retrograde early April, will be leaving shadow and fully up to speed. So we can look back to that date when Mercury went into shadow back on April 7th, I believe it was, and see how we've defined and know our own worth differently. And then 1 week from today, this is super exciting, 1 week from today, Mercury is going to conjunct Uranus. Mercury is fully up to speed, and it's going to conjunct Uranus in the sign of Taurus to give us very powerful, sudden insight that will really showcase the areas where Mercury retrograde showed you your self-worth. This is going to be some validation for sure. This energy, because Uranus is involved, is sudden, it's intellectual, it's authentic. And when you're talking Mercury as well, Mercury and Uranus, holy smokes, Mercury is the messenger, the fast, expeditious messenger, and it's going to conjunct Uranus, which is all about future, which is all about pulling you where you need to be with authenticity and a high level of intellect, sudden insights from nowhere. You can really find yourself leaping forward at warp speed now. And the Mercury retrograde season, as we look back on that now, we've come full circle. So we do know where our self-worth comes from. We understand it a little bit differently now. And then, like I said, that validation will begin to roll in. Now, that perfection happens next Sunday, but I do believe you'll be feeling this energy by Friday, Saturday, perhaps, because it's very powerful energy. It's a little much different than the North Node energy, like I said, but you'll feel it. You will know this. You'll feel it coming. Then on Friday this week, Venus, which is in the sign of Cancer, is going to trine Neptune in Pisces. I absolutely love this energy. Just wow. Oh my goodness, what a week we're going to have this week. You may find yourself emotionally overwhelmed, however, because whenever Venus is in Cancer, that's a very emotional, and when it's trining Neptune, it's overwhelmed, but in a very good way, like tears of happiness or just such excitement you can barely contain yourself, and being connected to source, because Neptune in Pisces is all about source, and being overwhelmed by a witness of source in your life in a very, very, very good way. It's great for creativity. It's very dreamy energy. If you are an artist in any way, shape, or form, I would circle this date on the calendar and get busy. Be prepared to get busy on this day. Be mindful, however, because we've got Neptune in Pisces here, that can be overindulgent energy. So just be mindful. If you find yourself getting like so wrapped up in it, it's just kind of going off the top, or you're having one too many cocktails, whatever. Just take a break. Take a break if you need to, and get your feet back on the ground. But definitely be ready to be inspired with energy like this. Then on Saturday the 3rd, we've got a full moon in Sagittarius, which is also ruled by Jupiter, which is why I think Jupiter is going to be the star of the show this week. Jupiter is still within an orb of conjunction of the North Node, and it's really, I feel that this full moon, it's asking us to let go of something, correct? Because it's a full moon. But it's fully showing us what we want to let go of and what we want to rid ourselves of. Because remember, we've got that beautiful conjunction between Jupiter and the North Node. We know what we need to do to reach our next level of destiny. And this full moon is making it boldly obvious that what we need to drop in order to continue our soul's journey headed in that North Node direction, instead of clinging on to that south node notion of what we feel comfortable doing. We need to get away from that, and this week is helping us with that. So if you begin to feel a sense of change coming, or perhaps are now, last week's frustration, you just had enough and things have got to change, well, you know what? Here it is. Here we are. If you feel that sense of change, I'm sure this energy is going to flip it for you. No doubt about it. This is very, very, very exciting. Very exciting energy indeed. Get ready for karmic blessings, because this is like I said, once in 7 years do we have this configuration. I pulled a card for this week and I used the Animal Spirit deck. I actually was going to use a different deck, and this dragon eye was staring at me so intently. I'm like, okay, fine, that's what we'll use. And Kim Kranz is the person who put this deck together. Interestingly enough, the card that fell out is the dragon. Of course, that eye was staring at me, sure was. And I had to pull this card. Now, let's talk about the meaning of the dragon. Seeing one's most true self, balancing the ego, is what it's titled. The dragon sees everything. Its essence has been with us since before our first breath and will be there at our last. It watches us navigate the external world as well as our inner world. When dragon energy is awakened, we are courageous, visionary, and can easily drop into witness consciousness. I love that this is all about North Node. It just tells me North Node, soul's journey. I absolutely love this card. When we look in the mirror, deep into our eyes, we may even glimpse the self behind the self. The one who is watching us. This is the power of the dragon, breathing transformative fire into every cell of our bodies. Witnessing this omnipotent energy, even for a brief moment, helps us surrender and let go. We let the dragon guide us. We hop on its back for a ride, and we traverse even the most difficult terrain. The dragon's eyes see beauty everywhere, it is said, that if a yogi does not see beauty in this world, their Agni, is dim. Sorry, I've got to flip the page. Bear with me. Described as inner fire, that's what Agni is, or sacred intelligence. May even just the mention of the dragon stir the embers of intelligence within you. The dragon. Oddly enough, another thing to note in Vedic astrology, the North Node of Destiny is also known as the head of the dragon, and the South Node of Destiny is known as the tail of the dragon. So it does not surprise me that the dragon card came out today as a very nice, kind, subtle indication that you too can expect to see some of the manifestations of Jupiter conjunct North Node in your life. Well, that's all I have for you this week. I certainly hope that you've liked this video. If you have, please click the like button. If you know somebody that can be helped by this video, please do share it with them. Or if you want to know when videos are being dropped, just click the subscribe button and you'll know when they're being dropped. Also, comments, please. If you have any questions, good Lord, so sorry. Comments, questions, or any advice that you'd like to give, please drop it in the comment section and I will reply ASAP. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I truly do appreciate it. Have a fabulous week. Namaste.